Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sex Coach Lex, and this is My Awesome Friend Mondays. I'm here with Eco. Eco, where can people find you?
People can find me at my website, which is enlightenedconsent.net. They can also email me at enlightenedconsent@gmail.com. And they can find me on Twitter, which is the capital letter N, Lighten, consent, CONSENT.
Awesome. So what is it that you do, Eco?
Thank you for asking. I am a sacred sexuality coach. And what I'm up to is I'm co-creating a world of enlightened consent. A world where everything consensual is honored and honoring your authentic truth. I work with people who are looking to go and create relationships and lives that they love and thrive in.
So what got you into this? Like, what inspired you to do this kind of work?
What actually got me into this work was starting in college. I had no idea how relationships worked, how to attract a girlfriend, as I was identifying as a cis male at that point. And I just started studying everything that I could. My first mentor was David D'Angelo, who wrote the Double Your Dating book and series. And within that, he talked about how there would be women out there that I could say that I'm interested in dating you, I'm interested in being sexual with you, and I don't want to be exclusive. There would actually be women that would be okay with that. Growing up in the Midwest, where like heterosexual monogamous vanilla relationships were the norm, like the only thing, that was like, wait, there are women like that? Really?
What is this relationship diversity you speak of?
Yes, I later learned the term that it's a form of ethical non-monogamy, and I've discovered that I am non-monogamous by nature. More specifically, I identify as being polyamorous, which broken down means many loves. And with polyamory, what that means is that because it's focused on amory, the love component, not necessarily sex, that a polyamorous relationship could or could not actually include a sexual component to that relationship. It's more about the mental and emotional connection of the heart that you have with the person. Then furthering on into that and utilizing some of the skills that I've learned, I then came across a woman who was interested in being tied up. And that was kind of an introduction into the whole kink and BDSM realm, which I also identify into. I'm a switch, which means I can be on the top or bottom side. And while I prefer being on the top side, the one doing the thing to the other person, I also find that I have a submissive side and need to be able to actually have things done to me on occasion. And if I don't feed that submissive side of myself often enough, it undercuts my ability to actually show up as a powerful dominant when I am looking to go and talk to someone
relate
else.
to that. Actually, I'm also switch, and I think the best thing about switches is you can really relate to both sides of someone's experience, like whether they're a sub or a dom, top or bottom, whatever particular interaction you are talking about, learning about, teaching about, you have a view that not everybody has, because you can talk from both ends. And that's, really powerful as a teaching, place.
Very true with that.
So, is there anything in particular that's like your favorite thing to work on with clients?
My favorite thing to work with clients is really helping them to discover what it is that turns them on and what they're really interested in themselves. I've worked with so many people, particularly with a lot of women who are really skilled and good at being able to make themselves into about whatever their other partner needs, what they think the other partner wants.
Mm-hmm.
And very few of them actually have taken the time to say, what actually turns me on? What is it that is actually important to me? What gets me off?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like really common, especially when you have a situation where your clients have a partner or when two partners come in together and they're like, they're all about this. And then I'm like, oh, okay, you told me a lot about your partner. Now, what about you? And they're like, huh?
Yeah. And one of the biggest things that I've worked with in my clients is just getting them to be able to check in and relate to themselves, of
Yeah.
being able to actually find out what gets them turned on. And that often brings up feelings of just stuff like, shame, humiliation of them discovering I'm actually into this. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, you mean, I actually want to like have multiple lovers. I'm a slut. Ah!
Oh,
Or,
no.
I want to be tied up and spanked. Or, I actually want to go and, hit people and actually go and like cause bruising. And there's a lot of stuff that comes up for that. So another
Yeah.
big thing that I work with
On
my
both sides of
clients
that.
is helping them become congruent and being really okay with wanting what their heart wants.
Yeah, that's such important work.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you have a particular story from working with one of your clients? And of course, not naming names or anything like that, but just the way you had a client come in to work with you on a particular issue, and their journey, sort of how they came out of that.
Sure. One of the things with one of my clients, and I found that this is actually very common, especially with women, is that even though women have a tendency to, use a mirror for like makeup on a daily basis and things like that, and this woman and others that are like her would not look at herself in the eye whenever she used a mirror. And part of that reason she told me was because she was afraid that if she looked herself in the eye, she would not like what she saw. She would not like who she saw. And was afraid that if she really took a look at herself in the mirror, that she would actually hate herself. And after working
Wow.
with me and through working with me,
Yeah.
she came to a place where she could go into her bathroom, look in her mirror, look herself straight in the eye, and say, I love you.
Oof.
And allow herself to receive that love and accept that love from herself and accept herself just as she is right now.
That's so powerful.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
One of the things I've actually learned about love is that you can only go and love someone else or accept love from someone else to the extent that you're able to accept the love that you have for yourself. Because if you don't love yourself first, you're always going to question, how could they possibly go and love me
Yeah.
since I can't even go and love me?
Yeah, that happens very often. I've even had experiences like that in my personal life, and it's a constant drain on the relationship because one partner may be thinking that the other partner just doesn't accept their love when it's, the person just can't accept love from themselves.
Right. I've had a partner myself in the past who was constantly telling me that she wasn't good enough for me.
Oh, yes.
And, every time I tried to go and convince her, it's like, I love you, you're amazing, you're wonderful. And she might believe that for just a little while. But eventually, her story in her head that she wasn't good enough for me and that I would find someone else had her decide to go and end her relationship with me.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what I found I need for myself is I need to have someone who is willing to know and love themselves first and foremost before I know that they'll be able to accept my love.
Yeah. Whew. So, eco.
Mhm.
Is there anything you're working on right now that you want to let people know about?
Yes. I've been expanding my skill sets and my knowledge of what I'm going to be offering for my coaching clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I am in the process of completing my clinical hours for being a somatic sensual healer and a therapeutic kink practitioner.
Double trouble over here. Awesome. So let me ask you this. What one thing have you done in the last year that has made a huge impact on your life?
I'd say the biggest thing was in October of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
where I started to identify as a queer gender fluid individual. I'm 36, going to be turning 37 this year. And at that point in October, up to that point, I had always identified as a really being able to embrace that there is a really strong feminine side to myself,
Mm-hmm.
and allow myself to actually start to outwardly express that feminine side and feminine
Mm-hmm.
aspect of myself, so I can actually be more the whole, complete human being that I am, and
Yeah.
allowing people to see the complexity more on a daily basis. Part of the pink hair is,
Yeah.
even when I'm masculinely dressed, it's still an outward expression of my feminine side that is there and always there.
Hmm. That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Welcome.
And thank you once again for coming on the channel. One more time for everyone at home. Where can people find you? On the intertubes.
On the interviews. So here. You can find me at enlightenedconsent.net. My email is enlightenedconsent@gmail.com. Twitter is the capital N as in Nancy, LIGHTEN, consent, CONSENT. Also, for anyone going watching this, I am offering 1 free hour of a coaching session, which can either be in person. I'm located in the Pacific Northwest, around the Seattle, Washington area. A lot of my clients also work with me over the phone through different parts of the country, so you can work that either way. Send me an email requesting your free coaching session to enlightenedconsent.net. And I'm happy to work with you on anything that ranges from getting clarity of what you are really wanting and desiring for your own life, becoming congruent and okay with wanting what you want. And I also work with the communication skills to be able to articulate those wants, needs, and desires of others, so you can actually have the opportunity to experience them with other people.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Or you can
That's
work
my
on something
jam.
else. Your choice.
And I am Sex Coach Lex at Sex Coach Lex on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as sexcoachlex.com, where you can find my blog, the Bad Sex Advice blog, where I take user-submitted bad sex advice, describe why it's bad, and what you